Hey guys, welcome back to another great episode. Today we have Tim James from the Chemical Free Body, and I know that you love him. And so I just got so many questions from some of the episodes that we've done with him and some other questions that we're going to sprinkle in. And so today is going to be question and answer day. So we're going to dive right in. Tim, thanks for coming back on with us.
Hey, I appreciate being here. And I was curious, how was your first vacation in a millennia?
Well, it's funny because we just went for a really short time and I'm going back. I'm going to go to Miami for Friday through Monday. So I leave on Friday. We're going to do another mini vacation. I kind of just like doing the mini vacations better because I end up, if it's, go too long, I end up working. So.
Yeah. Did you do a little bit of a technology fast while you were down there?
No, I need to. That's the next episode. How to do a technology fast.
It's a big deal. There's really actually a Chinese practice where they take people that have severe health issues and they just take away their tech and they put them out in the forest and go for a walk. They just walk around. They just literally walk around in the forest all day long. And then people heal from that as they plug back into nature and the frequency of life.
All right. Well, this first question is from Tom in New England. Can you personally tell podcast listeners about the benefits of using a far infrared sauna? How often do you use it? How long? Do you use it in conjunction with exercise, time of day? What benefits and drawbacks have you experienced?
Tom, so great question. Yeah, that's one of my saunas are like one of my favorite things. First off, infrared saunas, what's great about them is they actually can detox at a deeper level. They'll actually detox you because the rays actually penetrate into your body. Like it'll go into the deeper organs like your liver and your gallbladder and start detoxing these oil-based organs, which store a ton of toxins. Liver is it's our biggest filter of the body. So, one of the reasons I got into this was because of Dr. Coyne's work, who's, especially he's got 5 like specialties in medicine. And if a doctor has 2, they're considered genius. So this guy's like super smart. He developed virtual colonoscopies with like Siemens Corporation, real intelligent guy. And, after the FDA had him do a 5-year study on this, a treatment called hyperthermia, which was curing cancer over in Europe because, cancer is rampant over here. Dr. Coyne was talking with Dr. Brian Clement, who runs the Hippocrates Health Institute, where I started my journey. And they were talking about this. And Brian's like, hey, I want to know about this hyperthermia thing, because if it works, we want to help our patients with it. And he said, Brian, if you'll just get your patients into an infrared sauna 20 to 30 minutes a day for 6 days a week, it's much more effective at killing cancer cells than the hyperthermia treatment that we studied for 5 years, which, by the way, is very effective. So that's when the Institute got plastered with all these saunas. And that's when I learned about them. And the benefits go beyond that. I mean, all harmful organisms, viruses, bacteria, mold, yeast, fungus, parasites, these things don't do well when the core temperature is raised. Now, a good sauna, a good wooden sauna that's going to cost you your investment's going to be $3,000 to $6,500, $3,000 to $6,500. You're going to maybe get a degree to a degree and a half raise in core temperature, which is awesome. I mean, that's great. And, Hippocrates himself and Paramedes both said, these are, old school doctors back in the day, said that, give me the power to create fever and I will cure all disease. So what happens is when you get a flu, what does your body do? It creates a fever, right? It raises the core temperature and it knocks the virus back. So what you can do every day is you can take an infrared sauna, and if you have anything starting to gestate in you, whether it's viruses or bacteria that are, and maybe you're immunocompromised too, maybe you're overweight, maybe you have COPD, maybe you've got type 2 diabetes, you have these other factors, and you're more susceptible to pneumonia or bronchitis or COVID or getting a cold, then by taking one of these saunas every day, it's going to be like Mike Tyson uppercut. Like it's just going to knock the crap out of them, right? And that's a good thing. And the things like funguses and mold and stuff like that too, that are, like these hidden things that sometimes people never figure out and peel the onion. They can't figure out why they are not feeling good. It starts working on these things too. So the benefits, number one, this podcast is called Waste Away. So people probably want to lose weight. They're listening to this podcast. Infrared saunas are clinically proven to lose weight if you don't change anything. Like if you don't change anything in your life and you get into a sauna, you're going to start losing weight because they literally I think it's a two-sided deal here. Number one, they literally melt fat. But number two, they're pushing toxins out of the deeper fatty tissues, the brain tissue and the organ systems and the blood, the fat and the muscle tissue, right? It's these toxic chemicals that the fat is holding on to as a protective measure to protect you so it doesn't kill you. So no matter how hard you work out and what you eat, you might get to some point, but you're going to get stuck. It's because you're so polluted. Remember the umbilical cord studies we talked about before, where the babies today are being born with 180 toxic cancer-causing chemicals in the bloodstream, 212 types of chemicals that cause developmental and brain disorders. We anticipate 71,000 toxic chemicals are floating around in our blood, our fat, and our muscle tissue. So an infrared sauna is going to do a darn good job of pushing that garbage out of there. And when your fat is able to release these toxins, then your body will be able to release the fat. So for weight loss, it's great. If you have stress in your life, an infrared sauna will take you from sympathetic or fight or flight and put you right into rest and digest, the parasympathetic mode. It just vibrates the frequency of your water molecules and chills you out. It's a great stress reliever. It's great for people with anxiety. Also, it's great for skin. Water's vibrational frequency in nature, and here's one of the key points why these are so awesome, is infrared. So, everything has a vibrational frequency. Well, water, which our body's mostly made of, is very exciting, is made of infrared, specifically at 8 microns. So these saunas have 8 microns in that spectrum of near, mid, and far infrared. And that's what vibrates your water molecules in your body and your blood molecules and actually charges them, shrinks them. So then your blood can then go out to the capillaries. Maybe your capillaries are kind of not that great, especially towards the outer extremities of your skin into your organ systems, just because of a polluted lifestyle, a polluted planet, maybe not the best, you had too many chicken strips and JoJo's, right? And, heavy cooked and fried food your whole life. And maybe you didn't move much, right? You don't have a lot of movement in your life with your body. So your blood flow is lacking. This sauna, these types of saunas will shrink those molecules and start pushing the blood back out into these capillaries and start rejuvenating the skin, rejuvenating the organ system. So very powerful. And the saunas that we recommend are 6 to 9 times more powerful than the other ones. Again, we can raise our core temperature up to 3.2 degrees in these new saunas in 25 minutes. It's unheard of. So they're like I call them like God boxes or healing boxes. They're just amazing. So what else can they do? Besides being great for skin, they are fantastic for pain and inflammation. It's a big problem today for athletes recovering. Athletes are going to love these little machines. They're unbelievable. If you have arthritis or any type of pain, inflammation, maybe you're post-surgery, whatever, there's nothing better than this. I can literally trail run every single day now. And last year, being 48 years old, I could trail run once a week. My knees were all swelled up and jacked up. That's it. And I trail run hard. When I started taking our Turmeric 100 product, I could run twice a week. When I started doing the saunas with that, I can run every day now. So it's really knocked back my knees are like 19. I have 19 knees. It's just really cool. So I've seen people with severe pain, agony, back pain, and stuff like this. This is a tremendous. So it's great for pain and inflammation. So when you look at it, it's like it helps you detox. It helps you melt fat cells. It helps you push toxins out at the deepest level. It helps you rejuvenate the skin and the organ systems, pain and inflammation, reducing stress in the body. It's like, and it helps you sleep. It helps you sleep really good. So there's just so many benefits to these saunas. We actually have them, these new units, we have them mandatory in our private one-on-one coaching program. Now, the downsides, I would say, is, you have to make sure that when you're buying saunas that you're not getting ones with EMFs. You have to make sure that they have panels or the right type of technology to detox you, or the panels in the proper position. You want to make sure there's no glues made in the wood that are going to off gas. But it really doesn't matter because, we just send people to, get those, the newer saunas, and they're these little tent saunas, and they're 33 pounds. You plug them into the wall. They're smaller than a stove. They don't take up a lot of room, and you can pack them up and travel with them, So I guess that answers it I love them. I freaking absolutely love them. I think everybody should have one, and they just make.
So he says, how often do you use it, and for how long?
Pretty much every day. And in the beginning, In these new ones, you might be able to get in there for maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe 5, because they're so strong. If elderly people or children, there's actually 2 processors, 2 basically heater things. So you can only turn one on at once if you want in the beginning for elderly or kids, and let them more slowly work their way in until they can stay longer and longer, and then maybe flip on the second one. Now, if you're fairly healthy or you just want to, saunas are no big deal, you flip on both and you just get in like I did and start. And, I think I lasted maybe 10, 15 minutes. And now I've worked my way up to, I can pretty much do it for half an hour and 20 of those minutes with my head down inside of the tent. So, and I've worked my way up to that. I'm always trying to hit that 25-minute mark so I can get that 3.2 raise in core temperature. And I'll tell you, I've sauna'd every day for 30 minutes a day, pretty much because I've been a sauna dealer for almost 9 years. And when I got into this little sauna, I had an acne break out on my face, my neck, and my back for 2.5 weeks. So I was excited because I was having more of a detox, and it was going at a deeper level as a better quality unit. And then 2 months into it, all of a sudden I looked down at my towel and I had all this gray stuff coming out of me every single day. I mean, I took a shower before I did it to make sure it wasn't something else, or it wasn't stuff coming off of the rebounder on my feet before I hopped in, and found out it's heavy metals are pouring out of me. And I don't know if it's from growing up on the farm or the combination of the lead from fishing and loading shotgun shells, or, all the mercury that I've eaten from fish, or I had a mouthful of mercury amalgam fillings that I had removed, and the air we breathe, the aluminum, there's just so much stuff. But I literally still to this day, this is like going on 4 months now, every single day that I've had that sauna, I got heavy metals like pouring out of my body. I got gray spots in my white cotton organic towels. And, I was a little taken back, but I'm like, okay, this is good. I mean, I had no idea. I thought I was super clean and I'd gotten all that crap out, and obviously not. So they really help you to remove toxic body burdens, boost your immune system, and give you a healthy, happier, and skinnier life. So it's pretty cool.
Hey guys, I really want you to join our intermittent fasting and OMAD Facebook group. We're doing tons of giveaways right now for posting your before and after pictures, and just for posting a question in there. We're giving away free protein shakes, some digest-aid, all kinds of fun stuff. So please join our intermittent fasting and OMAD Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. All right, let's jump into the next question. This is from Carolyn. Hi, Chantel. I listen to your podcast daily. Thank you for sharing such awesome information. I have 2 questions. Tim James recently said not to use vinegar on your salad because it starts fermentation in the gut. However, I thought apple cider vinegar aids in digestion. Please clarify. And also, do you blend your black coffee? Thanks, okay, Carolyn. And I don't know where she's from.
Hi, Carolyn. Great questions. Yeah. So what we learned at the Institute, I remember when I went to Hippocrates the first time, they were like, no vinegar on foods. I was like, because I used to like putting vinegar on cucumbers. I don't know if you ever did that with salt and pepper. It was really good. And the reason why is because when you have vinegar with food, you're basically canceling out your digestive enzymes. That's what it does. So unfortunately, there's things that people like, balsamic vinegar on their salads, right? There's oil in that vinegar and it's really yummy. But the problem is you're creating fermentation and gut rot. And we have so many problems today with over 90% of us heading towards leaky gut syndrome. But what they did say is that vinegar by itself with water is very therapeutic and medicinal. So for people that are wanting to do raw apple cider vinegar, you just do it with water on an empty stomach and do it that way. And then that's fantastic. That's really good for the body. It's got that mother in there. It's got those bacteria in there. It's really good. So, and as far as the black coffee question goes, and I was going to give you, I don't like to give people problems without solutions. Now people listening are probably going, what the hell am I going to have in my salad? Right. So what you want to do is just replace the vinegar with lemon and lime juice. Or both. You can mix them in there both. So when we make salads now, the lemon or lime juice is kind of the tangy flavor. And then, you can make a blender and you can just do half of your blender could be avocados, half of it could be sprouted nuts. We're looking for fat here. It could be sprouted seeds. We're looking for fatty stuff or coconut meat. The other half is vegetables. And then you blend it up and you put your spices in there that you want, and then some lemon and lime. always squeeze lemon and lime over your salads and stuff. It really adds a good flavor to it, and it just ties everything together. Now, the question about coffee, she asked if I blend it. Was that the question?
So what she had said is that, do you blend your coffee? Because she specifically said, do you blend your black coffee? Now,
okay.
With that, I'm assuming that she means, so blended coffee is a way where 2 or more coffees can be blended together. So like you could blend coffees from the same region or coffees from different regions. And so you could have one that would be like kind of a roasted, and one might be like something else. So I think that's what she's talking about, because she specifically said, do you blend your black coffee?
Well, when people ask me about coffee, it's almost like, walking into a rattlesnake den, because I don't want to tell them the truth. But so I'll just say this, that my assistant back in the day when I was a mortgage professional, even before I was into financial advising, she started going over to Starbucks, and one day she brought me a iced coffee. It was just iced coffee with half and half in it, and that was it. And God, it was delicious. And I, all of a sudden, before too long, I was stuck in this, like drinking 2 of these Venti iced coffees a day through the summer. And I was always dehydrated, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, how am I dehydrated? I drink a lot of water, plus I'm drinking these huge Venti things. I didn't know that coffee actually dehydrates you. So when we went to Hippocrates, we went to a class, and they were talking about the myelin sheath. So the myelin sheath is basically like on your nerves, right, that run through your body, which is your electrical grid. The sheath is like it's like like an electrical cord. It's the cord wrapping so that the electrical can flow. It's the thing that protects it, right? So what happens is when that myelin sheath gets exposed, that's when you get nervous and jittery feelings and anxiety, and it leads to Alzheimer's and dementia. So I leave that class. I learn about the myelin sheath, the electrical grid. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Then at the next class, this lady's like teaching us about, she's a doctor, Dr. Anna Maria Clement. She's talking to us about green juices and how to make them and what to put in them and all this different stuff when we get home, and what's in the green juices of Hippocrates and all this stuff. And this one lady's like, how many green juices should I have to balance out the acidity in the coffee that I drink? And Anna Maria's like, well, I don't know. You might have to drink 10 or 12 green juices to balance out the pH of that coffee. And I don't even know if that would be enough, and then I started realizing, and she says, and the bad thing about coffee is that it actually destroys the myelin sheath. And I was like, what? So, and I just came from this class where they went into depth about, the myelin sheath is important. And then that's when I said, I'm out. Now, keep in mind, I had my own French press, my wife and I at the time. We had Kona coffee. We were like coffee connoisseurs, and we made our own. We had our own stuff. And after that education, what happened? I'm just like, my grandpa died of Alzheimer's, right? And then they showed how Alzheimer's and dementia back then was about 25% of the baby boomer population was experiencing that, which is tremendously high. Now, there's other cofactors, the aluminum cookware, the amount of sugar they're eating, all these other things. But 25%. 2 years later, in this lifestyle that I've been on, that number went up to 28%. So it's creeping up. And I don't want to have any part of it, because my grandpa was very healthy, but his brain was gone, and he didn't know who anybody was the last 6-7 years of his life. And it was just horrible watching him go through that up at this, especially somebody and love, and you have such a deep connection with, and all of a sudden they look at you at a blank stare and they're like, who are you? Like, you're a complete stranger. So I don't personally want to go through that myself or with my kids. So for me, I just said, I'm out. And I walked away from coffee. Now, some people aren't going to be able to do that. They're just, I'm not ready for it or whatever. I like it. And, having it once in a while, not a big deal. But what I would recommend that you do is you get coffee that's grown in its natural environment. Now, coffee naturally grows in a shady environment. What they're doing is they're growing it out in fields, and it's getting sunshine. And what ends up happening is it becomes very acidic. So if you can find shade grown coffee, like there's a company called Life Boost, that would be a good first step or movement towards a healthier life. And Also with coffee, there's a lot of mold or these mycotoxins in them. So, and they're one of the most heavily sprayed crops with pesticides. So you need to find 100% pure, organic, shade grown coffee. I think that's the first step. And I think other than that, just work on cleaning out your digestive tract, cleaning up the blood, the fat, and the muscle tissue, flooding your body with green juices twice a day. And you'd be surprised. Eventually, coffee just kind of gives you up. Now, some of you still might want to have it once in a while, but we have a lot of people taking it because they want to have the energy. It's more of a habit. It becomes a ritual. They got the smells, and it's just this, we're habitual creatures. But, I had a lady who was a bank executive, and during our first coaching call, as an onboarding call, she said, "Don't even think about getting me off of my coffee." And I was like, whoa. I mean,
it's so funny because people get really like, that's one thing. Like if you even mention like taking away someone's coffee, they're like, I'm going to stop you right there.
I didn't even bring it up.
It's not optional.
I didn't even bring it up. She brought it up on her. I said, did I say anything about coffee? She's like, well, no, but I want you to know that I am not going to give it up. And I'm like, okay. And I was just like, got a problem here? She's like, it's like trying to tell a cocaine addict, hey, just stop taking cocaine. Like, oh, okay, I'll quit. They're not going to do it. People have to do it on their own time. So we don't believe, unless you have stage 4 cancer and your back's against the wall and you got a gun to your head. Yeah, now you have the propensity to change and change very rapidly. But for most people, it's going to come slower, right? And it has to be a process. So we believe in the add and release method. We don't believe in quitting things. We believe in adding new habits into your life and letting the old ones, they'll just fall off on their own. If coffee is going to give you up, it'll give you up on its own time. And that's what happened to her. 5 months into the coaching program, she's like, I gave up coffee. I was like, oh, you did? She's like, yeah. She goes, I just realized I don't need it. I get so much energy from your green powder. I just do that twice a day. And I realized that I wasn't really a coffee addict. I was a sugar addict. I was pouring tons of creamer and sugar. And a lot of people think they're having coffee for energy, but the reality is they're having these mocha frappa whippuccinos, and they're basically just having dessert for breakfast is what they're doing. And they're flooding their body with even more acid. So you got acid-based moldy coffee, and then they throw in a bunch of, hormone-injected, antibiotic-ridden cow's milk, dairy, half and half or whatever, and a bunch of, pesticide, number one sprayed crop in the world, cane sugar, throwing a bunch of sugar in there. And it's just an acidic recipe for disaster. It's like throwing gasoline on a bonfire of all your health issues. So if you're going to do it, I would suggest shade-grown coffee. And if you're going to put some type of a creamer in it, find some type of a sprouted plant-based creamer. That would be the best. It might be hard to do that. Or make your own sprouted plant-based creamers out of sprouted nut butters at home in your blender.
Hey guys, I'm so excited. My new book, One Meal and a Tasting, is out now. And if you order the book on Amazon, just the regular paperback edition, if you go in and make a review, you will get the audio book for free. Send a copy of your receipt to questions@chantelrayway.com and you'll get the audio book right away. All right, this next question is from Mindy in Manhasset, New York. I'm binge listening to your podcast, and here is my thing. I'm obsessed with carbs. I do eat gluten-free. I love gluten-free bagels, cream cheese, and I love cereal. I'm fine with waiting until 11 or 12 o'clock to eat, but then sometimes when I eat this way and then switch to more of a keto-ish diet, I then sometimes lose weight. But when I eat like this for 2 or 3 days and have these extra carbs, I feel okay, but I don't feel deprived. I don't feel great on these days that I eat carbs, but I do tend to do I just need to get more willpower? Maybe only do it 1 day a week or 2 days a week? I'm torn. If I deprive too much, I end up overeating, and I know that's not good, and I can't do that. My biggest weakness is bagels, donuts, yogurt, fruit, and cereal. How do I balance carbs and balance the intermittent fasting? Should I try doing a carb day, then a low carb day or keto day, and keep switching? Help. Mindy from Manhasset.
Mindy, that's a good question. Thank you so much for that. She mentioned that she really likes bagels and cereal and yogurt. And what was the other one?
She said bagels, donuts, yogurt, fruit, and cereal.
So basically when I hear that, all I hear is I like sugar, 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 and sugar. That's what it really boils down to. So I think that, I want to really help you out here, and I want to help the other listeners that are dealing with this issue. So many people are trying to do high carb, low carb, this, that, mix in the fasting, do all these things. We need to go sub basement. Okay. You have a fundamental issue. You could have malabsorption issues on a cellular level, which most people do. We know people's guts aren't working really right. So Mindy, what we need to do is we need to get nutrition into your cells, because what's happening is your cells are saying, hey, Mindy, go out and get me minerals and nutrients and vitamins and hormones and oxygen and phytochemicals and enzymes. We need these things. These are the building blocks for your life, so that we can help you carry out your activities of daily living. And you go to the store and you're eating foods that are processed, even if you're eating organic, they're grown in soils that are 85% deficient. You're walking around, most people listening are on, almost everybody is on 15% fuel. So our society has become malnourished, yet overweight. The only difference is between us and like little kids starving in Africa is we are overweight. Both camps, though, the starving kid in Africa and Mindy, are malnourished. And it's like a national crisis, because you have been broken from the chain of Mother Earth where you came from. And it's really simple. We have to look at your body like a car. And the first step is cleaning it up so that you can get maximum absorption of nutrition. And then we flood the body with nutrition. And what's going to happen is that those cells are going to turn off those hunger cravings, and you're going to stop freaking out. And then, we can give you little snacks and certain things you can do, and just, start eating tons of vegetables. Like if you're going to have a starchy carb, you like a sweet potato or something, have it with a lot of veggies. If you're going to have a piece of fish or a piece of chicken or a piece of, organic, hand-raised beef or whatever, have it with a ton of vegetables, tons of vegetables, eat lots of vegetables. Sprouts are awesome if you get your hands on it, but it really boils back to basics. We have to get back to doing things like drinking half your body weight in liquid ounces of purified water daily, chewing your food until liquefied, powerful, avoiding liquids with meals so that you can really digest and not dilute those digestive enzymes you work so hard to put into the food when you chewed. And then, do your breath work before you eat, those foundational things. And then, we have products over here like gut detox, and you can go get colon hydrotherapy or whatever, but gut detox will clean those intestinal villi and remove about 6 to 12 on average pounds of impacted fecal material. Think about that. Your intestinal lining is the pathway that nutrients have to get into the bloodstream so the cells can get them. If it's lined with all this funk and gunk and junk, 6 to 12 pounds of it, doesn't it make sense to clean that crap out? Yes. So we want to clean that out. We also want to clean up the cells intercellularly. We have a product for that called Toxin Detox. Get the heavy metals, the radiation, the pollution, all that crap out of there. And then you want to restore the gut bacteria by eating things like raw sauerkrauts and kimchis and fermented foods, and taking probiotics and getting outside and breathing in the probiotics and getting in the dirt, the soil-based microorganisms. Get to undisturbed dirt, go out into the forest, go to the beach, go to as many wild forests and places you can get, and get in the dirt. And you'll literally breathe that in, and that will go in and start colonizing and recolonizing your gut bacteria. And that's going to be a huge part of your immune system, besides helping you to digest your food. And then you flood the body with nutrition. That's why we believe to follow the Hippocrates protocol that they've developed over 61 years, which is you have 2 green juices a day. That's the protocol. If you do that, you can actually make up for the 85% deficiencies in the soils. You can still have your, organic vegetables and stuff. But now you're going to be replacing what's missing. The cells are going to get what they need. They're going to shut off the hunger signals, and you're going to lose weight. You're going to have way more energy. You're going to have more mental clarity. You're going to boost your immune system. And that's, we think, what, we know it's worked for me for, 11 years, and it's worked for thousands of our clients. And we know it'll probably work for you too.
Awesome. Well, it's always a pleasure having you. Tell listeners where they can find you and where they can follow you.
You guys can just find us over at chemicalfreebody.com. That's come on over, and you can discover that you can love when you poop over at chemicalfreebody.com. And if you guys are interested in trying out some of our products, like our gut detox and our greens and our toxin detox, our turmeric product, we just go to the products tab, scroll to the savings bundle so you can get a discount. And then at checkout, put in the code waste away, and you get an extra 5% off. So you can get a double discount. We have a double your money back guarantee on all of our products. These are just part of the toolkit. The sauna is part of the toolkit. The flax water is part of the toolkit. We just help people put their toolkits together. And if one of the products doesn't work for you, we'll happily refund your money. But please communicate with us, and myself or another coach will work with you, and we will find a solution. We are here to help.
All right, you guys stay tuned. We've got another episode coming up in just a few. Bye-bye for now.